Well, hello there. Oh, I'm on the other side
Hi.
tonight because you beat me into the studio. I'm like, why am I on
Oh, I
that side?
did. That's right.
Oh, shame, shame. Hold on. I'm going to move it around to mine.
Ah,
Feels so much better
all
to be
is,
back on my side.
I was like, all is right in the world.
Nope, all is right. Everything's better now. Well, hello there. Happy Monday,
Oh,
July 8th. My God, this year is flying by.
it is. And as
So,
usual, if you see us with our heads down, it's because we are working tirelessly to share this post in our groups.
yes. So help us share it too. Definitely help us share it. And you can also go, if you're not joining us on Facebook, we do have our YouTube. You can go to YouTube, the Broadway Fan Club. I am Heather, your hostess with the mostest. And as always, the other hostess with the mostest, you can hear my phone blowing up already, is Amber.
Hello.
So yes, we are ready to rock tonight. You guys might notice my background is a little bit different, and also there's no spotty Wi-Fi. I'm currently at my mother's house in Florida with her, fireplace and her little tiny shoes. So I am so happy to just be sitting here. And I invested in a new laptop because that's how much I was so tired of everything going wrong. But with that being said, we have a great show set up for you guys tonight. We're going to say goodbye to some of our favorite shows. One that closed, a day ago, yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. Ones that are coming up. We're going to talk all about like weird stuff happening. There's some weird shit going on in the theater world, not with stuff that's actually on the stage, but stuff on the crowds, the audience, the stage door. Um, there's even stuff happening on Reddit right now. Like people are, it's a bonkers kind of world, guys. So definitely tune in, comment as you can. Jeffrey Cohen, good evening, good sir. Yeah, we love to be able to sit and chat. And enjoy your company. This is your opportunity to talk and vent and cavell about everything you can possibly imagine when it comes to the Broadway world. And Amber and I are here to kind of referee, but also vent and get frustrated and maybe cry or scream or throw a glass. I don't know. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling angry? I'm feeling angry.
I'm feeling kind of sad. I'm still feeling kind of sad from yesterday.
Well, tell everybody who might not know what yesterday was and why you're sad.
Yesterday was the final show of Merrily We Roll Along.
Yes, it was. Now, a lot of people were surprised to find out that it was a limited run. They thought that it was closing for whatever reason. No, it was always determined to be a limited run.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
so it's going to be an interesting transition. Um, and I know what we've been told, but Hudson Theater, you guys know what's going in there, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Why don't you remind everyone?
It's Once Upon a Mattress
Yes.
with
And who's going to
Sutton.
be in that? Yep,
Sutton
exactly.
Foster. Hello. And didn't they just make a massive announcement today?
They did actually.
And you guys can tell that we are literally sending our links to everybody. Share alike. Do you guys know who they just announced? Because I do. Amber does.
I do.
Anybody? Bueller. Bueller. Are you
Bueller.
following the brand Broadway fan club? Are you? Did you finish doing everything? We're gonna get this down once upon a time, guys, and once upon a mattress too. Anna Gasteyer. All right, I ruined it for everybody. She is gonna come and reign supreme. I'm so excited.
Yes, she's going to be
Hello,
amazing.
Cheyenne, fellow theater nerds. Damn right. Damn right. Yeah, no, it's been a weird kind of week for Broadway. Not in a bad way. I think just we're post Tony, so the buzz has kind of gone a little bit. People are like, oh, I'm not even going to try to rush Outsiders. I'm not going to try to do this cabaret. Guys, I get notifications on that theater app all of the time, even from SeatGeek, like, hey, there's tickets available for this. And do it. Just go see the shows you can. Don't give up. Um, somebody won the freaking cabaret lottery. Like, that's why we did our show last week on Tuesday. It's not impossible.
Right.
There's constantly an opportunity to get out there and support the shows. Don't give up. Just because we're kind of in the middle of seasons, go support the theater. With that being said, let's get to our first. Oh, well, I guess we should talk about our guest co-host. As
Yes, we
always,
still
there's a furry tax, not that kind of furry. You might have saw the giant pit bull behind Amber. That is your puppy tax for the evening.
This is Christina. She's still my guest for the next week or so. She is currently available for adoption. I don't know if you can read her collar, but it says "Adopt me, adopt me."
And she's like,
She
pet me, I don't care.
she is a 9-month-old puppy, and she's a good girl. So she is available for adoption through the Connecticut Humane Society. If anyone is ever looking for a puppy, hit me up.
That's right. Yes, you are the puppy dealer. To answer Jeffrey's question, will you ever do this on Zoom so we can participate? Jeffrey, you can participate as much as you want here. We will be doing some virtual meetups, which will allow that. But with our StreamYard, we are going to try to keep it more of the traditional podcast. But if you'd like to be our guest, definitely reach out to myself or Amber, and let's see how we can get you onto a future show. Speaking of future shows, before we really get into the deep dive, I'm very excited. I talked to a dear friend of mine today, the one and only Tim Mooney. If you guys might go, oh, I might know that name if you're on the fringe circuit. That dog. But if you're on the fringe circuit or if you're familiar with Shakespeare, who isn't? Tim Mooney is a Shakespeare god. Literally does what he calls a breakneck theater. He's also the proprietor of the Timothy Mooney Rep. And that man, like, we were at a pool party for fringe artists a couple of months ago, and literally, yeah, everyone's like, oh, Titus Andronicus, oh, Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, the Scottish play. He can recite paragraphs and monologues, but he performs them, and he's just such conviction. And I talked to him today. He is going to be doing the So Many Shakespeare's Festival in Brooklyn next month. And he's also going to be our guest next week. I'm so excited.
Woo!
Yes. And he has brought a challenge to everybody to throw him whatever Shakespeare you want, and he will recite. He's happy to do it. That is like his shtick. It's his party trick, and I absolutely love him for it. So he'll be joining us. Yep, he'll be joining us next week. We'll be talking about Shakespeare in the Park, which most of it is kind of ended on June 30th. We've got another chunk coming through. And I looked at the dates. I'm going to be in New York for the Public, which is a public theater, block party, which is July 28th. So we're going to try to get all of that rocking and rolling for you. I hear Christina chewing on her whatever. We're gonna deal with it. Did you ever see Patrick Page's All? I don't think so.
All the Devils.
I did not. I wish I did get a chance. I did, however, get to see Patrick Page in the original cast of Hadestown with Eva, with Reeve. God, was that a great show. And funny part, love the show. It's one of my favorites. Have not seen another cast because I have not seen the show. I don't know if I want to, simply because those will always be my cast members. Cheyenne, ooh, better browse my complete works at dates. Do it, please. Oh, Cheyenne, I will pay you money. He cannot be stumped. I thought I was going to stump him with Titus Andronicus. Like, no, just flat out. So
that's
super
pretty good.
All right. You ready to rock and roll? Or are we all shared out?
Ready to rock and roll.
All right. Start us off. Start driving this bus.
All right. So I guess the first topic, should we just continue to roll with the Merrily We Roll Along?
Let's roll along with Merrily We Roll Along. Get into it. Now, you have more of a connection to the show than I would have loved to have seen the show. Every time I was in the city, I tried, and Amber was on the phone with me 99% of the time. I would try to see what kind of last minute tickets there were. It was impossible. It was just absolutely impossible. Amber was fortunate enough to be able to see the show. I'm so jealous. And you really loved it. I've loved the show through you and through our old friends members. Like I really do. But why don't you get into it?
So the show played its final show on July 7th, playing a total of 312 performances and 20 previews.
Amazing.
Um, Absolutely incredible. After, especially since the initial run of Merrily only played, I think, 48 maybe performances, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure the
A
actual
lot
number,
less than what they just did.
but definitely a lot less
Yeah.
than what they did. Um, so it is incredible what they were able to do and what they were able to accomplish. And many people said it was due to the direction of Maria Friedman and her sister Sonia. Um, I personally, as you said, got to attend the show. It was April 10th, a matinee. Not that I'm like remembering it especially or like anything, and like that Jade is like now special to me.
Right?
Um, but I went right into the city just to see the show,
Yes, you did.
and it was an absolute wonderful experience. First of all, the Hudson Theater is gorgeous.
And I don't know if, well, you didn't get a chance to, and I was trying to. Our friend Tim Dolan over at Broadway Up Close actually does a Hudson Theater Up Close tour. So
Right,
they had a lot of people that would come in and be able to see, because that theater has so much history to it.
right.
It's unbelievable. So definitely try to take advantage of that as well. But yeah, I mean, see, I've only been into the lobby of that theater, and it was already so beautiful. But yeah, go ahead. You
And
go ahead.
it's one of those theaters like Cabaret where, you don't have the traditional theater cup. You're served your drink in gorgeous crystal, and, you have, the food just feels a little more elevated, and everything just feels a little more just
Who
like
knew
I said,
you were so
elevated.
bougie, Amber?
I know. I didn't even know. Um,
Now we know.
It was such a wonderful experience. My seat was great. I was in the dress circle,
That's awesome.
and I just loved every minute of it. The show was captivating. Daniel Radcliffe, Jonathan Groff. Sadly, I did not get to see Lindsay. She was out that day, but I did get to see Schurz,
She went
who
through
was,
so much during the show. She's going
yeah,
through
I was
divorce
actually sick
situation, custody
when I,
battles, marriage, pregnancy. She is
right,
having a whole life in the middle of the show.
right. So I can't blame her, for not
No,
being
of course.
available during that time. But the show itself was a piece of art. And, during the closing speeches, I don't know if anyone had a chance to watch them. We had several of our members in our old friends group share video of the
Mhm.
speeches. But Sonia Friedman dropped a little nugget of information there,
Lil Nug, yeah.
a little nugget, pro shot or not.
Mhm. So to explain to the kids at home who might not know, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, a pro shot is when they go in, and we talked about this last week too, when they go in, they'll actually do multiple camera angles and do a professional production. There are concert versions, like Les Mis did, Phantom of the Opera, or you have a full-blown production. Shrek is available still. Newsies still available. Love Never Dies.
Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton for sure. That's, I think, got a lot more people into that pro shot. Traditionally, it wasn't something that was done. They were done for the archives. Every show was
Right,
professionally produced and recorded for archive purposes, but there hasn't been official word if it's going to be similar to like how Bonnie and Clyde is now, where they did a concert series version pro shot from the West End that's available for essentially rent, or if they're going to be something as to, available on streaming, like you can literally go on Hulu or Disney Plus and see Hamilton right now.
right.
But yeah, she did give it a little nugget. She said it's going to be available in a different format.
Yes, she said, "We will be seeing this show with this cast again soon in a different format." So,
That's pretty
dropping a little
tremendous
bit of
words.
pretty. pretty big teaser, I'd say.
I would say it wasn't even a teaser. That's like the entree or the appetizer before the entree. So
Yeah, I agree.
we cannot confirm nor deny. But it
Right,
does seem like it is an official pro shot happening. When, how, it's already been recorded. We had several members, and it was posted. There were lots of pictures of official recording. I actually had my friend Ray was there when they had multiple cameras. And from my understanding, it's the same production company that also shot Hamilton.
right.
Not actually Bang Bang shot Hamilton, recorded Hamilton. Sorry. Really bad dad joke there. I am tired today. I have been nonstop. It's what happens when you live in Florida and it's 107 degrees outside. But yeah, so I know that we mourned merrily, but we also did a really fun giveaway, and we're going to announce at the end of the show today who our winner
Yes.
is.
We
Um,
have everybody's names here, so thank you,
Amber
everybody.
literally wrote down all of the entries onto paper and put them on strips. So I want to challenge more people to enter our contest. There were 100 entries for this because I want to see her do even more.
Yeah,
Well, we
yeah,
have our prize wheel, like we have our digital prize wheel, but it doesn't. I think it fits like 30 people.
right.
We have between all of our groups of the Broadway Fan Club, we are over 400,000 followers, and we thank every single one of you guys for doing that. For those of you that don't know, between the Broadway Fan Club groups, we are now at 40 different fan groups. With that being said, if you would like to see what those fan groups are, you can go to thebroadwayfanclub.com. That will take you directly to our link tree, which is linktree/the Broadway Fan Club. And you can see all of our groups. You can also see our merch, which I know Amber was very excited to get, which is also part of the giveaway. Amber, you want to talk a little bit about what you've been doing with those?
Yeah, absolutely. As always, we have our wonderful show bracelets with the
Yes.
Broadway Fan Club Etsy shop. And they are custom made bracelets for every show. They are either the title of the show, they are song names, they are characters from the show, they're your favorite Broadway actor, or they can even be custom. So they're great for cast parties, they're great for bachelorette parties. I actually just went to a bachelorette party and I made them for everybody, and they were a
And you
huge hit.
made cake pops. Are you going to make cake pops for our members too?
Yeah, if everyone wants cake pops, who wants cake pops?
Who wants cake
Um,
pops? But yeah, so what we're doing with all of that is we are helping to pay the bills, guys, and not our bills, pay your bills, meaning StreamYard for our studio here, to be able to pay for our website hosting, all sorts of fun stuff. But
to pay
it's
for
also really,
prizes.
yes, oh, prizes galore. Again, our prize for our entry for the Merrily closing was a playbill along with a custom bracelet made by Amber, which is so freaking cute. It says old friends on it, right?
Yes, it does.
And then you also we're also going to be doing the magnet, and Amber's like, oh, is it this one? It's not. It's the photo strip magnet. So I was very excited to be able to pick that up at our friends at Museum of Broadway a couple weeks ago. So definitely
And
make
I
sure to
believe all the
yes,
magnets are currently sold out.
everything's
So, yeah,
it's all gone. It's all
it's
gone.
gone.
So is Merrily, and we're sad, but we're excited to see what Once Upon a Mattress is going to do. That's going to
Absolutely.
be amazing with that cast. So I'm very excited.
Definitely.
All right, moving right along.
Oh, Jeffrey wanted to leave a comment
Oh,
saying Stephanie Mills is going into Hadestown playing Hermes. I did read that. I
yes,
actually read that she was delaying her
I saw that
entrance
too.
because she was sick.
Yeah,
Um, but the other two that were starting, I believe it was Maya and oh, I can't think of who else, but they also started on time.
yeah. I mean, it's important more now than ever that these guys are taking care of themselves because I don't know if you guys remember about 2 weeks ago, post Tonys, there was a COVID outbreak amongst the theater.
Yes,
So there were a lot of people out unexpectedly, a lot of pissed off people because there were understudies who are amazing, by the way.
right.
Um, and you can even see, like most recently, like Stagedoor last night at Merrily, like people are still wearing masks. So yes, delayed a week. Thank you, Jeffrey. So it is really important to remember that these guys, not only do they need to sound good, they need to be performing, and they're performing a lot. I know that, like Water for Elephants, I think I was reading Andrea, the mother of one of the ensemble members, and a member of the Big Top. But she had said something that they did 12 shows in a row with no breaks
Oh,
because
wow.
yeah, because they didn't have a day off. They weren't dark. So traditionally a theater is dark on Mondays. That's why we like to do our shows on Monday. But 12 shows in a row, that's a lot, guys. And some of
That
these
is
are
a
two
lot.
show days. They go in, they have a call, they're there 45 minutes to an hour before, doors are open show. Then they have maybe an hour and a half, 2 hour break in between to get lunch, go to the gym, go to physical therapy, do whatever, and then do it all over again, and then go home. So that's why we'll start talking about like stage door etiquette a little bit more tonight again, because we've been seeing some things pop up, and it's not that it's bad. It's just we want to make sure that everybody's educated.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So I think we can merrily we roll along into the next topic.
Oh, look at you! I'm so proud of you making that little pun. Look at so cute.
Um, I believe the next thing we were going to talk about was the protesters at SUFS this week.
And honestly, I'm surprised it didn't make more news.
I am too.
So, do you want to tell everybody what that was all about? Tell our listeners because this was weird,
Yes.
very
So
weird.
apparently, in the middle of Act One, during during SUFS, four people stood up on the balcony and they hung banners that said stuff SUFS is a whitewash while chanting for the show to be canceled.
Now, for those that don't know what SUFS is, first off, shame on you. No, just kidding. No, the best way of putting it is like a female version, like female Hamilton, like history for women. It's about the women's suffragist movement and the march. There's some really incredible stuff. Shayna Taub just won Best Book, Best Theater ever. Just she's incredible. The cast is all women. Even the male parts are portrayed by
Played by
women.
women.
um, they have all different races, all different, portrayals. There's a wonderful ensemble member who's very talented who's in a wheelchair. I mean, it's very inclusive from everything I've noticed. And something interesting about these protesters, not only so the way that the theater is that you have a balcony on either side, and I believe it's during Act Two. They actually put banners down from like they have the suffragists hanging banners from there and rallying. So it was an interesting placement, which makes me feel these people had already seen the show, and were aware of it, and they placed the banners there. But Shayna had to actually interrupt and say like, "Oh, these are definitely from like to say like these are not
Right.
those protesters." But then to me, and again, like this is what I read directly, and if anyone else saw anything differently, please let us know. But the protesters were white women, um,
Correct.
protesting that is whitewashed, which is interesting to me. So I don't really know in the scheme of things, like, was it for attention? What was the movement? Because the movement said like this was not a thing. It was very different. Um, and it's not whitewashed. So I guess I was just very confused.
I was gonna say I personally haven't seen the show, but from what I've read that there is inclusion of
Very
that that storyline in the show as well.
There is. So I think the main protest was that they didn't delve like deep dive into the African American women who were a major part of the suffragist movement. And they actually have like you have A is your main storyline, and then B is like your side story. But there was several instances of a B story being there. The main story was of the main group of women. Unfortunately, that main group of women were primarily Caucasian women. So it focused on like it's like watching Friends and then watching like Gunther at the cafe. Let me throw some Friends trivia at you. Watching Gunther at Central Perk and having a storyline going on there. But there didn't seem to be any exclusion. And again, Caucasian female, I didn't see it. And I'm not discrediting anybody. It just was very confusing to me because it did seem to be. I think I called you during intermission, and I was like, it's the cast is amazing. Like it's really cool. I wasn't expecting them all be women, but also like there's a woman in a wheelchair and there's somebody on crutch and there's like it's very inclusive and it seemed to be that, but to each their own. And our members handle it well. We have a stuffs group and our members like spoke very effectively about it. They even posted from like the performers that they enjoyed the most and like how they responded. I think everybody responded very professionally. It wasn't blown out of proportion. It didn't like start this massive fire of protests everywhere. It was just like, okay, this happened. Okay,
Right.
okay. So I think it was handled really well, and it wasn't pushed and it wasn't swept under the carpet, but it was directly addressed, but respectfully.
Yeah, I actually was reading an article today that was saying that by doing something in the middle of theater, because it takes away from the performance, the actors, it's, disrupting the audience, it's actually undermining the message of the protest itself,
Yeah,
because it's actually so disruptive to that art form that it's not even really giving that protest the full kind of chance it deserves to speak on
right,
that issue.
right. It's I I'm kind of stuck in a standstill because at one point I'm going, theater means expression. Feel free to express yourself, and the people feel comfortable enough to be able to express how they feel. But there's a time and a place for everything, but also you can't kind of mute somebody's self expression.
Right.
I just feel that if I was at that performance, if I was at the performance, I'd probably be pissed off too. And I will say, the audio, like the speaker system, when I went, that distracted me more than anything. So, there's a little bit of a distraction, and then you're like, how do you get back on track? But for them
Right.
to continue and do a whole second half, I think kudos to them for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
All
all
right.
right. Next, I think we're flying through, guys. We're doing pretty good.
We
We're at
are.
a
We're doing
half hour
great.
already. Love it. Loving it.
Next on the
And
list,
you
I
can tell
think we
Amber and
will
I are very tired because we both keep yawning. Oh, Amber,
next.
how is the new camera looking? The new laptop? Is it working?
Yeah, it looks great. So
Cool.
far, so good.
Very cool. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
having Florida humidity hair, so we'll just it's gonna take up the whole screen by the time we're done. For those of you not watching and just listening, it's
That's
just gonna
another
continue.
Friends reference.
Yes, it's true. Or it's just Rocky Horror because when I did Magenta and Rocky Horror, I used a whole can of hairspray every show.
Yeah.
So good for the environment.
Right.
All right, we are rolling right along. I like
Um,
making you drive the bus. It's fun.
yeah. I think next thing we wanted to talk about was just some kind of pointers and rush etiquette, since we had been hearing some murmurings of rush things
Yes.
going on.
Yeah,
And I
so
think you had been reading some rush.
I was, and I'm going to address Jeffrey's question really quick. We're also live on YouTube. Yes, Jeffrey. So you can go to the YouTube app or YouTube, and then our username is the Broadway Fan Club. So we are live on YouTube, and we are live on our Facebook page, the Broadway Fan Club. And then we share it to all of our groups, which you can find again on BroadwayFanClub.com. Branding, branding, branding.
And the
Yeah,
best place to watch is wherever you feel most comfortable.
that's right. And if that means sitting in your bubble bath with a glass of red wine, which is what I do with my podcast, actually, it's bourbon, I'm lying, then go to town. We're just happy that you're here and that you're able to join us. And that goes to everybody too. So we've been asked to, hey, I'm not going to make it live. That's okay. You can always go back and watch all of our episodes on YouTube. And I do have to say, this is our official 10th official episode.
Wow.
I
Big
know.
10. That's a
Big
big deal.
10, which means we are now going to be able to start uploading to Spotify for podcasts, and will be available
Ooh.
wherever you can listen to your podcast. So we'll be going ahead and sharing those links very soon once those are done. Yeah, so let's talk about Rush. We've had a couple members, like we were talking a little bit about before, who are like, no, I'm not going to do this, or oh, it's going to be like 5 hours. I'm going to get there. For those of you that don't know, Rush is something, Rush and Lottery is something that was started just about 3 decades ago. And it's where you have the opportunity, and not all shows do them. Let's clarify that. You have the opportunity to purchase a certain amount of tickets. It's generally one per person. But there's a limit per day of how many the theater will set aside. Um, for example, so I'm trying to think. Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. There, I was talking to my buddy Justin Sargent earlier. Let's talk about Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. Every day they would have 24 Rush tickets available. And it was pretty popular. And I went with my friend Shauna Bresnahan, and we rushed it. And I rushed all the time. Gutenberg, I rushed. Had no idea how many tickets they had, but it's like $50 or $40, Heart of Rock and Roll. And they're usually decent seats. Some of them can be partial view. And then if they're completely sold out, they'll actually do standing room only. And that's only for the theaters that have it available. And I'm going to get way down the rabbit hole here. Standing room only is at the back of the theater. It literally means you are standing the whole time. They do have kind of like a window that's behind the last row, and there is like a rail for you to lean against. It's not my favorite. But there are specific Rush seats. I know that some of our members were talking about it in the Broadway fan club, our main page. And to kind of answers your question, Jeffrey, one will be loading up to Apple. Everything is going to be the Broadway fan club podcast. With that being said, so there's like the Pony Boy seat, which is where the actor actually starts off. So it's a discounted rate. It's only one available. It's a heavily discounted seat because you are standing for the first like 10 minutes of the show. Which I think is pretty cool anyways, because it's like you're almost part of the show.
Right.
But even our friends over at The Great Gatsby, I know that Catherine Kuhn is doing something today with their social media team. For anybody that was showing up for Rush, they had gone to my favorite place in the whole wide world, Schmackery's, and we're asking trivia questions for people that were lined up for Rush. Now, what time should we get there? That's a great question. The box office usually open at 10 a.m. or 12, like between 10 and 12 every day. And you always want to check specifically with that theater. I always suggest, if you're going to look for Broadway Rush or lottery policies, literally Google Broadway Rush and it'll pull up the Playbill article. That's the best one. It continuously updates it. But with that being said, they were going through and just asking trivia questions because some of these people are getting there 3 or 4 hours in advance. It's not necessarily the case. I remember when Gutenberg was out last year. God, it's been a long time. I'm so sad. When Gutenberg came out, I had landed. So I live in Orlando, for those that don't know, and I'm in New York once a month. I had landed in New York, taken the train from LaGuardia, or taken the bus into the subway to LaGuardia, had my carry-on with me, ran through Times Square, went over to the James Earl Jones Theater, which is where Gutenberg was, and Heart of Rock and Roll just closed. And they had plenty of tickets. I think I paid $25 for a Center Orchestra Gutenberg ticket. It's a Rush.
Wow.
Why do people do Rush? Because it's fun. Unless it's special, like a can seat at Moulin Rouge, or a table seat at Cabaret, or it's an opening night or a closing show, I never plan what shows I'm going to see. I either play lottery, I do the Rush, or at the very least, I'll look on TDF because I'm a member of TDF. I know Amber is as well.
Yeah.
It's like $35 a year, and then you're paying towards the Theater Development Fund. It's all nonprofit, and you sometimes can get great discounted or even free tickets. But TKTS is run by TDF. It's a lot of acronyms. I apologize. But TKTS will have heavily discounted rates as well. Jeffrey, I'm going to answer your question. Hamilton's first 2 rows, do you know why it's only $10? I do. Amber, do you know why?
I do not.
So, Lin-Manuel Miranda is just amazing, and his lotteries are very difficult, because yes, that's correct. Hamilton is on the $10 bill, or Jackson is on the $10 bill. So they used to do an in-person lottery. And then they do the digital lottery. Now you can actually download a Hamilton app, and I'm going to pull up mine so you guys can see. I have been entering the Hamilton lottery for like 4 years. A
Same.
friend of mine, my buddy Scott, who I saw yesterday at a table read, he won it in person. I was very jealous. So this is the Hamilton app. Let's see where the camera is here. This is the Hamilton app, and you can interact, but you can actually play trivia. And come on, you can do it. You can play trivia. So it's Hamilton trivia. Test your knowledge. You build a streak to earn bonus stars. What do those bonus stars do? They help you get bonus entries for their lotteries. Yes, Jeffrey, Lucky Seat, Broadway Direct Lottery. There are a lot that do it. Telecharge is great too. I think that's how you got your cabaret one, isn't it, Amber?
It is.
What are you looking down on there for? What you
I'm
doing?
looking for my email that says you're a winner,
Oh,
baby.
you just need to frame that. Now, do we win lottery all the time? There you go. You
I
won.
was
And they
shocked.
text you. They text you. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, you remember what happened. I was on the Broadway cruise, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and I'll give you guys that promo code for an extra $100 off. Do you remember this? When I was on the Broadway cruise, getting ready to do the Stagedoor experience, and I knew that I was going to be home 24 hours and then right to New York to go meet up with Amber for opening night of Water for Elephants. But I was entering lottery for the
Oh,
rest of
yes.
the time. And so I was entering lottery, and then I got notification. And because of the freaking time change between Grand Cayman and here, I won lottery and I couldn't claim it. I was so mad because it delayed. It was so sad. But yeah, I love the rush system. I think that a lot of people overshoot it, meaning they don't really they don't want to miss out. I think the earliest I ever got anywhere for Rush was either going to be when I went to see if Merrily had any cancellation, which is also the cancellation line, which I suggest you do for Six the Musical and Hadestown. They're always cancellations. And Cabaret, too.
Cabaret, I was just going to say.
I don't get it, but people are buying tickets and then they're dropping them, or they're trying to sell them on different apps or on buy sell. But as lost where I was going with that. The earliest I got. So Merrily, I actually forgot what time the box office opened. Do you remember this? I was on the phone with you a couple months ago. I was the only one there.
Yes.
But they didn't have Rush. And then, of course, like while I'm there, I'm waiting for like 45 more minutes. Like two other people showed up, and they had a couple of seats. They were like partial view, like $500. It was not happening.
Right.
My wallet would have hated me. But I think the earliest I ever got was my family was moving from New Jersey. I still lived in Florida, but my like mom and my stepdad and my grandmother were moving down from New Jersey. And I had taken NJT, the New Jersey Transit train, into the city early. You're going to laugh, Amber, because something rotten was closing. And Adam Pascal was.
That's a good one.
If you ever have the opportunity to go see him as Shakespeare, or that show in general,
Coming full circle for our episode next week.
Full circle. That's very true. Full circle. Yes. But I think I got there at like 8:00, and I just sat there for like 2 hours. At that point, I was just listening to my headphones and like watching YouTube videos. And it was cold, and I sat on the sidewalk because it was dirty. So if you're going to rush, one, I would say get there 2 hours before box office. And you can judge it by the line. I tried to rush The Music Man because they did have rush seats. That was Sutton Foster and Hugh Jackman. People were pretty much camping out overnight. It was not happening. I stayed in a hotel in Times Square specifically to be able to walk to that theater quickly. And I would get there at 6:00 in the morning. The line was running long. It was nuts. Same thing with Funny Girl, but luckily I won the lottery. So it was starting to rain. So if all of a sudden the lights start to go off, it's not haunted. It should be. But it was always an experience. And to me, bring something to sit on, bring snacks, bring a bottle. I never not have a bottle of water with me, which you can bring into theaters. I know that's been a question on our groups this week too, is can you bring water bottles in? Yeah, they don't care. As long as they're not filled with tequila or whatever,
Right.
they don't care. Don't bring like loud snacks or like a big can of Pringles or something. But they don't care. Bring something. But here's my thing. You were standing in line or sitting in line for a long time, generally, with other people who were there to do the same thing. Talk to the people in the lines. That's how I've met some of my great friends. Is you have a commonality, like these people that were doing the trivia with Gatsby, like they were having a good time answering trivia questions to win a cookie from Schmackery's. Um, it's like so I was a nerd in school, still am. But middle school, I remember this. Amber will make fun of me, and you guys will never let me live it down. I was in band, played the flute.
Me too.
Did not have the choice though. Well, yes, go flautist go. We blow really well. But I would go to the store and buy Fruit Stripes gum with the tattoos on so you could
Yeah.
like, yay, Cheyenne. And you could like do a tattoo in your tongue. I don't know. It was weird. I would get to school, nerd. I would get to school an hour early to give gum to people. I don't know, that was a thing in my middle school. I don't know, I'm weird. But I would get this like really shitty tasting gum that everybody loved. But you know what? I still have some of those friends.
Yeah.
And it's just from sitting there and being like, hey, you want a piece of gum? Or like,
Yeah.
if you're in New York, start talking about it. You have, cookies from Schmackery's, or hey, you know what? I have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to run to McDonald's across the street. Can I get you a coffee or something? Make friends.
Right.
If you're an introvert, just sit there, but enjoy the conversation happening around you.
Right. And
Look at
don't
this.
make enemies.
Yeah, don't make enemies. That's been happening too. Like, that's more of a stage door. I think we can kind of roll off into the stage door stuff, huh?
Right.
So
Well,
stage door.
I just wanted to
Oh yeah,
just interject and say
please do.
when you're rushing, don't expect a ticket.
Great point. Great point. Thank you, Amber. When you're rushing, don't expect to be disappointed. That sounds terrible. You don't know how many tickets they have for the day. But I will tell you, so perfect example. Thank you for that. And it'll kind of bring us into our later topic as well. I tried to rush for Tommy. And all the rush seats were gone. And I was like, oh, I'm so sad. I was like, we just started the fan group and I'll just have to try. I didn't win the lottery or anything. And the box office goes, you know what, though? We have the next tier up. So I think the rush tickets were like $49. They had $69 tickets. And it was like front center at work.
Yeah.
Just be nice to these box office people who are dealing with you guys, not you guys specifically, but people yelling and angry and mad because they want to buy 10 tickets at the discounted rate. You can only buy one. Happened in
Right.
Harmony. God, that show was amazing. And we can have a whole freaking episode on Harmony. It was incredible. For the first 20 people, it was $20.
I was going to say 15 or 20.
Yeah, it was stupid cheap. And there were 4 of us online. And I had been talking to my friend JJ, and like hours later, because that show just didn't get the love it should have. If you have not seen Harmony, check it out. It's a real story about the comedian Harmonious. Incredible show. You can hear the thunder. It's ominous. But I was talking to JJ, and they were like, oh, wow, I would have loved to see that show. And I was like, I'm going to walk over to the box office for you. And they were like, hey, so we cannot let you purchase an additional one. I was like, nope, totally fine. I was like, hey, JJ. And they ran over from work.
Yeah.
Just be understanding. They are limited to what they can do. That's a great point.
Exactly.
Don't expect it. Be pleasantly surprised.
Right.
I was always taught you get more with honey than you do with vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm overly sweet and sassy. But the thunder is getting me. All right, we've got 15 minutes left, so we don't talk these people's ears off of me. So let's move the bus on to our next destination, Ms. Amber.
All right, next up on uh, the list is the Water for Elephants news. We have a couple things on the Water for Elephants topic.
We do. We do. We should probably talk about the real elephant in the room.
We
Grant,
should.
Grant Gustin, we have about 2 months left with him.
Yes.
People are losing their absolute shit over it. Like,
Yes.
absolute mind. Guys, his wife is having their second baby. So he's going to be leaving. It was a 6-month contract. It's an incredible show. It was his Broadway debut. Olivia, a lot were mad yesterday about losing the lottery. We'll talk about that in a second, Olivia, for sure. But Grant is incredible, and he did an amazing job. All I can say is that when I tried to get information from Larry, which was not happening, he just said, "I cannot wait for you to find out. I am so beyond excited for you to find out who it is."
I am beyond excited for us to find out.
So I think Amber and I spent about an hour like 2 weeks ago going like, okay, who could it be? Who do we want it to be?
You know
And
that meme with like the guy and like the strings, like that was
yes,
us.
yes, like the murder board.
Right. We were like, well, he's busy. He's doing this
Yes,
show. He
that's
can't do
exactly
that.
it. Well, so this, and again, the comments, please keep them coming. I would love Olivia, especially because you love that show. I want to know who you guys think it could be. I'm thinking timing wise, and like I'm gonna put it out there, and it's gonna be totally wrong. I'm gonna be like,
And
damn it,
I agree with you.
Derek Klena,
Yep, I agree.
because he's leaving Moulin Rouge, because Aaron Tveit's coming back. So he's leaving Moulin Rouge. He's in the vocal range. He has the athleticism. I think it's
Has the look.
everything. I
Yeah.
think I just, and I've seen him in so many different things, and I absolutely freaking adore him. And I hope to God it's him. And I'll be sad if it's not, but also I'm super excited. Yes, in the fall as well. Derek would be really good. I would love to see Derek. I think at one point Amber and I were even talking about like what happens when Eddie Redmayne leaves Cabaret, which is
Right.
happening. And I want to see Aaron Tveit in it. Just selfish needs. But, I don't know, Amber. Besides Derek, who else do you think it could be?
I have no idea. Like I said, people were murmuring. I heard some whispers, maybe Corey Cott.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't know. Corey Cott's going to be on the Broadway cruise.
Right.
And Corey Cott's arms are going to be on the Broadway cruise.
Corey Cott's arms are going to be on the Broadway cruise.
I'm gonna plug the Broadway cruise. They're not paying me to do this. I'm just gonna, because I keep talking about it. It was so life changing, and I hope that maybe you can come with me. Broadway cruise is happening next year, March 31st to April 4th. So it's a Monday through Friday. You leave in Miami on Monday, you get back Friday morning in Miami, and it's literally out a day at sea, a day in Cozumel, a day at sea, and you're back. I'm okay with that because it's an incredible lineup. Shoshana Bean, Alex Brightman, freaking Beetlejuice, Corey, Casey Levy, who was Elsa. Oh my God, why am I blanking? Amber, I'm blanking on this. Oh, it's because the rain is starting and I've just completely gone brain dumb. I'm going to pull it up right now so I can give you guys everybody. And of course, my Broadway Con website just popped up too. Here we go. Here we go again. Okay. Laura Benanti, Wayne Brady, which I had the pleasure of seeing Wayne Brady with my mom in Kinky Boots, which is amazing. Soleil Pfeiffer, Eva Noblezada. She's actually supposed to be here this past year with Reeve.
Soleil and Eva, two. Eurydice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I cannot wait. Corey Cott. And so they've announced those 8 right now. And then they've also announced for the creative side to Jerry Mitchell, Jeffrey Seller, and Will Van Dyke. And then they're going to have Gordon Cox, who's going to be the theater journalist. And then they're going to have a variety hour. We have no idea what this is. This past year, they did like a singing, like American Idol style thing. but it's going to be Henry Kapersky and Ethan Christopher. So if you have any interest in checking it out, I think for my inside stateroom, it was like $700. But that's everything on Norwegian Gem out of Miami. I think I have my promo code still loaded here. So BroadwayCruise.com, under refer, you can put the promo code 2, B like boy, F like Frank, C like Charlie, and that'll get you $100 off. They have what they call their stage door experiences. So you actually go and they have like a convention room and you can talk to everybody there. I had the lovely opportunity to talk to Cheyenne Jackson. And of course, everybody else, Matt Doyle, Christian Borle was on this last cruise as well. Norm Lewis, it was Carrie Butler. I can just keep going on and on for you. But they're there and they're performing, but they're also there on the cruise with you. They're kind of stuck there. So like playing at the casino with people that are like, it was fun.
Right.
And just having normal conversations. They'll have panels. They have intensives where you can actually learn Broadway choreography. I think that's really cool. They did crafting. They did bingo, trivia. I mean, everything. They did every night was a different theme. So of course I was in costume every single night.
Well, I was going to say that actually brings us to our next topic.
It does.
Which was our gender swapped costume
Yes, it does.
that you wanted to do for the Broadway fan club.
Yes. And I've been looking at stuff today for BroadwayCon, so I'll move into that. But yes, definitely check out the BroadwayCruise.com. Enter promo code 2, B like boy, F like Frank, C like Charlie. I think it should be all lowercase. I don't know if it makes a difference, and you'll get $100 off. Totally worth it. Yeah, let's talk about gender swapping or gender bending for those of you that are not familiar with it. And I do want to go through our comments really quickly. Yes, everyone's kind of on the yes, Derek train, woohoo. I'm not sure who's in Atlanta, Olivia. I think that they're going to want to, I don't want to say stunt cast it, but I think they're going to try to go for a more well-known name because really this is a lot of Broadway debuts. And our girl Marissa Rosen got to do her principal Broadway debut at Waterfall Offense.
Yes.
Adding to that extra. So Joe DePaul was out, who's Walter, who's the clown. And Marissa got to be Wallace and was made her principal Broadway debut. So yay, Marissa! And we absolutely, the pictures just don't do it justice. Let's see, Jeffrey Reeve in Water for Elephants. Ooh.
Okay, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Okay.
I like what you did there.
I would put that right on the bingo card.
Yeah.
I could see it. Same vocals, little bit of a pull. All right. We're gonna talk, you and us. Yeah. Olivia, I met Christian at Starbucks next to the Marriott Marquis. So sweet. Christian's crazy. I love him. I really do. I had the absolute pleasure of seeing him in freaking everything. Something Rotten, Some Like It Hot. He was hysterical. Little Shop. Oh my God. And that's when I got to meet Jonathan Groff as well. But when he did his death scene as Orin, the dentist in Little Shop.
Oh my gosh. Groff. He's amazing. Okay.
First off, that death scene is usually about 2 minutes long. It was 7. And if you guys don't know, Little Shop of Horrors, amazing. Orin the dentist pretty much dies with a gas mask. Spoiler alert, like a laughing gas mask. Christian Borle wearing this contraption over his freaking head that like gives him bug eyes because it's like a magnifying mirror window or whatever.
It kind of looks like a spaceman mask.
Yes, it's a great way of putting it. Absolutely. And the theater, so it's off Broadway, so it's under 500 seats. It's so small, and I'm like maybe 20 feet away, and he's just dying for 7 minutes with this ridiculous laugh. Just like every time you think he's done, like he's alive again. Amazing. Playing against Jonathan Groff Seymour. That's amazing.
So good.
When I saw him on the Broadway cruise, I went up to him and I was like, I just have to let you know I was there for your 7-minute death He knew exactly what I was talking about. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, oh no, it was one of the most enjoyable things I've ever watched in my entire life. And it was hysterical. We didn't talk about anything else. That's what we talked about.
That's
um,
amazing.
Jeffrey, to answer your question about Christian Borle and Tammy Faye getting a lot of negativity taking over the lead, why? I don't think it's Christian getting the shit for it. I think it's the way that it was handled. It was marketed and promoted with Andrew Reynolds in the lead, which we had the opportunity of seeing Andrew at the red carpet for the Waterfall Events opening night. And we were both like, huh. And then they immediately announced it. I think, and we can't speak, officially on it, from my understanding, his contract had not been signed. It was not
Correct.
official that we were promoting, and something didn't work somewhere. So he dropped, which is very rare. Very rare. I'm hoping maybe he dropped because there's a Gutenberg option I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even going to put that out there. But Christian Borle taking over that role will be really interesting. And we also just started a Tammy Faye Broadway group. So we have our musical group. We can post there. Let's see, I'm reading through. Yes, he really does know how to play to an audience. He's freaking ridiculous. He really truly is freaking ridiculous. I love him so much. Yes, let's go into gender bending and gender swapping. It's more of a term within cosplay community. So like, if I'll use an example of a gender bend that I do. And a gender bend is when something that's traditional in one aspect of the sex that's portrayed. So if it's a male presenting, is then portrayed as female presenting, or vice versa. So like Jack Skellington, I wanted a spooky outfit. It's true, for a Halloween cruise. And I wanted to do Jack Skellington. So I did a gendered bend, quote unquote, of Jack. So I have like Jacqueline Skeleton, doesn't have to have a name, but it's a Jack Skellington. But I have a black leather dress with the bow tie and a lot of the accoutrements that'll make it recognizable. So Amber and I were talking the other night about BB Newworth had originally said that she would really love to have been the MC back in the day in Cabaret. And even Jinx Monsoon was talking about being the MC in Cabaret, which is such a gender fluid role anyways.
Right.
So we wanted to put it out to you guys. Is there a role that is traditionally male or female that you would want to see the opposite sex portray?
I have also seen a male performer in one of the roles of the Fates in Hades Town.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And I'm trying to think of where else I've seen a gender swap performer. I believe there's a role in Merrily of like a reporter or something that is also a gender swapped character.
Sure.
Sometimes.
I mean, even Marissa taking over this Wallace when Joe DePaul was out, that's
right.
considered a gender swap because it's a role that's generally portrayed by Joe DePaul, and when Joe wasn't there, it was Marissa. Yes, yeah, Cheyenne, you did share the article about BB. Everybody saw it. It was amazing, and I love BB Newworth. How could you freaking not love her?
She was so. I still thinking about her performance in Cabaret, and it's blowing my mind.
A lot of people. So she had been interviewed, and she had this is an article from Charlotte that she and I spoke about a while ago. Is that BB hates it, and I know it's hard for everybody to have this understanding, and this is kind of going into what's happening in the audience, but she doesn't like it when people applaud for her when she enters onto the stage. And
I remembered that, and I was like,
but it's right. But it's hard because when your favorite performer, whether it's a stunt casting, it's a celebrity that you're like dying to see, like Grant Gustin, the Flash, who's making his Broadway debut, or you appreciate the performance so well that you're excited that he's there. And you take that beat and you're clapping and you're like, woo, woo, woo. It does kind of stop the storyline and it's a little bit disruptive. There are times when you could do that where it's very appropriate. Alex Newell getting their standing ovation after singing Independently Owned and Operated and Shocked. One of the coolest moments sitting in a theater in my entire life because they brought down the damn house and everybody stopped and gave a standing O in the middle of the show. Never experienced that on Broadway before. But then I experienced it a couple weeks ago when Gabby rocked the freaking house in Cabaret during maybe this time. Like, what? That's cool. That's cool. But BB does not like it when it's interrupted and it stops the show. She feels like it takes everybody out of being into that story.
Right.
But yeah, so for Broadway Con, which I will be at hosting panels, don't forget to come to Broadway Trivia on Friday at 5 o'clock. Actually, I think I have a promo code for that one too. BroadwayCon.com, promo code TBFC, like the Broadway Fan Club. I don't even know what it gets. I think it gets you like a discount off your ticket. I'm here for it. We love giving our members discounts. But we're going to be doing trivia. I'm going to be hosting Trivia Friday. We're going to have exclusive merch. We're going to have shirts. We're going to have everything. It's going to be on our link tree. Our bracelets, we're going to make exclusive BroadwayCon bracelets. Super, super excited about that. And we might even have ribbons to trade, like convention ribbons. So really proud of that. But I was thinking about it, Amber, and I don't even think I've talked to you about this yet. I want to do the MC as the MC.
Yes. That would be so cool.
I was like, okay, well, I can totally wear like the Broadway Fan Club shirt because we're going to have some really cool shirts that list all of our groups. And I'm super excited. I love our logo designed by one of my members from our Broadway Cruise alumni group. But I'm like, I love that. And I've been watching and trying to figure out like, okay, so Mason has a very distinct MC outfit. And shit, even Michael C. Hall does. And then, Alan Cummings, like everybody has you can tell what era of cabaret is. And now we're in like the Eddie Redmayne cabaret with the red hair, with the sideways facing party hat, with the like cool buckled tank top with like the, almost like a small corset with the shorts. Right. But I'm like, I'm not going to be able to find most of that. So I'm working on it. So if you guys have any suggestions as to what you think I should wear, please tell me. Because I
love Olivia's suggestion. Maybe the Wizard and the Wicked. That would be so cool, gender swapped.
Oh, yeah. I could see that for sure.
That would be such a cool one. Yeah.
How would you, but here's the thing too. What about Elphaba being swapped?
Oh, that would be very cool.
Or, even Glinda.
Yeah.
I can see Glinda being swapped.
I've seen a 6 performance gender swapped. That was very cool.
I mean, it's there's a little bit of a frustration here amongst local in Orlando that I'll share, but that can kind of play into this a little bit. So Disney just put out a casting call for their new Little Mermaid show because they're in the process of kind of revamping it from what there was at Hollywood Studios in the 80s, which was MGM, to now. And they put out a casting call that says all sexes, and they're saying openly that they could be non-binary, trans, like whatever, trying to be inclusive. People in Orlando are losing their minds right now saying, well, why is it even necessary to say that it should have been open all along? So it's kind of that give and take, finding that gray area for sure. For sure. Reading through our messages, if anyone interested, TDF has Tommy dates available. That's really good to know, Mitchell. Thank you for letting us know. Let me take this banner down. And that kind of moves us sadly into talking a little bit more about Tommy closing. And we're going to talk about that post Tommy. But the 21st, we've talked about it a little bit. But just support that cast. They are precious little gems that need to be protected at all costs.
Oh my God. And I have to give a shout out to our member, Alyssa Kruger, for doing the coolest cosplays.
Yeah.
For all of the, or Alyssa Kluger, excuse me. She has been posting, doing the coolest cosplays for like each major performer, and she's going to like the last 3 shows. Yep. And she is just doing awesome. So I just wanted to give her a shout out.
Well, I think that was very nice of you to give her a shout out. If you want to check that group out, our Pinball Wizards group is on the BroadwayFanclub.com. I know we're running over time. We've got just about a couple more subjects to cover.
I think we're just about finished.
You're just done? She's over it.
Let me just. Oh no, Yeah, we're just about done. Just about done with our list.
I was like, are we done? Because I know we have one big item
We do have one big item left on the list.
in your Tiffany's.
My Epiphany's bag.
For those of you just listening and not being able to watch this video, Amber has affectionately taken out this faux Tiffany's bag, but still says Tiffany and Company on it. And that has been what she has put all of our drawings names into it. So it's the Tiffany bag. That is the
The
sound you're hearing.
Epiphany bag. Yes.
So again, this is a drawing for those of our members that were in Old Friends or that were following along Old Friends and the Broadway Fan Club. We had 100 entries. Thank you guys so much within the last 24 hours. And this drawing is going to be for a Merrily We Roll Along playbill. You will also get a custom made bracelet. So exciting. That says Old Friends on it. And you will get the magnet, has the photo strip magnet, which is by far the coolest thing I've ever seen magnet wise for a show.
I agree.
So if you guys are or if you're the one that's being drawn, please message myself or Amber, and then we will get everything shipped right out to you. So are we ready for this?
We are ready.
Drum roll, everybody. Do a drum roll at home. Come on. Let's see.
All right.
It's upside down.
Up. We have Christine Clement Hilton.
Very nice. Christine Clement Hilton. Come on down. Congratulations. Down. Yes, you are the winner.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Yes, so we are so excited. We love to be able to do these drawings. That's why we encourage you guys to go to our Etsy shop so we can pay for stuff.
So we can keep giving you prizes. Yeah.
We do have some really exciting prizes from some of our partners that are going to be coming up soon. And for those of you that were watching our Peg Doll giveaway, we do have a way of you guys being able to purchase some of those sets. Reach out to myself or Amber, and we will get you squared away with Stephanie so she can get you taken care of. With that being said, I mean, not too bad. When I went to the show back in February, my friend got a magnet for free. Very cool, Olivia. Not everyone can get stuff for free. I wish I could all the time, because then life would be so much easier.
And just a reminder, this week starts Broadway in the Park at Bryant Park. So
yes,
if you're
it does.
On Thursday, 12:30 to 1:30, head over to Bryant Park for some super cool performances.
And you can actually follow our Instagram at the B-Way Fan Club and see specifics of what Broadway in the Park is going to have for each listing. Amber made some really great little quick one-sheeters so you can see who's performing what day. I'm very excited because in 2 weeks, let's see, the 8th, words are good. In like a little over 2 weeks, I will be there and I'll be going live from the Broadway Fan Club. I think the day I'm going is all like the sexy one, so I'm down for it.
Yes, I think so too. Like Cabaret, or no, not
Moulin Rouge. I think I don't know.
Yeah,
you have all the stuff in front of you.
Yeah, it's in my phone somewhere.
It's okay, guys. So the blonde is going away this week. I have a modeling gig Wednesday, so I will no longer be blonde. I'll be able to remember a lot more stuff. It'll be great. But with that being said, thank you guys always for tuning in and for hanging out with us. And we're just only going to get bigger and better because of you guys and the support in the community. We really do want to make sure that we could support these shows and build our communities and make sure everybody is happy and taken care of. And if there's a topic that you'd like to see sometime for our upcoming shows, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Very nice, Cheyenne. Someone in the Cabaret group sent me a Cabaret playbill gratis. Shout out to them. Shout out to the random kind stranger. We love that. That's what we are here to do. We want to make sure that our friends become our family. When Broadway's dark, we keep that ghost light burning, guys. That's what we do.
Sure.
So make sure you follow us on the BroadwayFanClub.com. We have all of our information there, how to contact myself, how to contact Amber, our Etsy shop, all of our information, even our link to our Instagram, so you don't ever have to miss anything ever again.
Yes.
And we thank you guys so much. We will see you next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, same bat time, same bat channel, featuring our good friend, Tim Mooney of Tim Mooney Rep. You can go ahead and Google and see how amazing he is. Cheyenne, I cannot wait for you to stump him. We're going to have a good time with him.
Don't forget to prep your questions, your Shakespeare.
Yes, I'm going to challenge you guys to challenge and stump Tim. That is my goal in life right now. But with that being said, on behalf of me and Amber, thank you guys so much for joining us. And we hope that you have a great week. Thanks, Mitchell. You beat me to it. Have a good week. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.